Hi, everybody. This is a wee bit of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. Today, we're going to discuss Sung Qua. It's a topic we've discussed many times on this program, and we're circling around it again, and we're going to take an even deeper dive on this. And we're particularly going to focus on the first exercise that I teach in part of the Reclaiming Lost Territory set that I do, and how to make some corrections at a body mechanics level that allow for you to relax more into the qua area, the hip area, and be able to allow for more of a more flow there, because that qua area is a major controller of your chi flow and your blood flow. And if we have muscular contraction, excessive muscular contraction or misalignment in that area, then it constricts both the flow of chi and the flow of blood. And in the past few weeks, we've been talking a little bit about this point right here in the on the quad, on the inguinal crease, about halfway down. There is a point called stomach 30, it is called the Qichong point, and what it means, the name means thrusting chi or penetrating chi, and it's because it is really when you open that up, then your energy and the blood in your body gets to circulate much more efficiently. And so any constriction in that area has a tendency to dampen that effect. And so probably the most important thing you can do is to, in terms of enhancing your chi flow, is to really get sung in your qua. Now, just to go back, and the term sung itself, S-O-N-G, spelled song, but it's pronounced sung, is, some people say shung. It's what it means is to release muscular tension and learn to trust the intrinsic structure of your body, particularly your connective tissue system, but also the alignment of your bones in your body. So whenever you get things properly aligned, you find that sweet spot, and then it allows you to you don't have to use as much muscular tension in order to just keep a position or to move properly. So getting your body aligned is a key part of this, and because there are certain ways that the lines of force move through the body that we don't examine that much. And I know Jonathan brought up last week, going over this first exercise and the Reclaiming Lost Territory exercises, and we had our in-person class, and we spent a better part of an hour just working on that one exercise, and we're still just kind of at the superficial level. We haven't really got really deep into it, and that's because it requires a certain amount of adaptation. Your body has to get used to these new positions. If it has been aligning itself in a non-efficient way for decades, and you try to put it into that, there's a certain resistance to this new position. You might find that your muscles just have trouble supporting your body in this passive way. So when you're sung, the muscles are still in use, but it's in a passive way. Sort of like if you're carrying a suitcase, the suitcase is just sort of pulling down on your arm. You're not lifting it like this, you're just letting it hang, but you have a shape to it that allows you to carry the suitcase in the most efficient way. There's still muscular force that's being applied to it, but it's in a passive way. That is, you're elongating the muscles rather than contracting them. And so the same thing is happening whenever you're getting your body sung and aligning it to the qua. So whenever you're getting sung qua, that means that you are relaxing the muscles there and just allowing yourself to kind of settle into the structure in a way that gives you the most efficient way of supporting your body, and particularly from the perspective of energy circulation. And so it's something that's easily tested whenever you push on something. If that muscular tension is there, then there's a collapse in the energy of the system. So it's something that we can play with. But that exercise is a very simple one. We'll get to it in a few minutes, but I deliberately designed it to be incredibly simple so that you have to focus on Sung Kwa to do it correctly. You have to focus on getting a proper alignment to do it correctly. And usually what happens is that it's kind of boring to be that simple, and your mind puts all kinds of other stuff onto it rather than just getting the simplicity of learning to release the muscular tension and allow your hip joints to move freely, to kind of, it's sort of a ball, it's a ball and socket joint, and just allow it to move very freely. What many people do is they kind of force push their body to turn, and that just adds to the muscular contraction. The main impediment to getting this smooth flow in the hip joint is getting your pelvic bowl aligned. That is, you want to get it so that your pelvis is like, it's like a bowl, and you have the brim is parallel with the ground. The rim is parallel with the ground, and if it's tilted back, forth, left, right, in any way, the hip joint is going to have a hard time rotating, and then you have to use muscular force to push through that. And so the idea is to be able to let go of the tension rather than find new and interesting ways to use muscular tension to make the hip work. And so it's a little counterintuitive. It's a different way of thinking than we're used to thinking, but I think it's probably the most essential piece in terms of amplifying your chi and allowing you to move gracefully and smoothly, throughout not just your Tai Chi form, but throughout your life, just to be able to move freely. Because otherwise, if it's not moving in an efficient way, you're going to end up wearing your joints out prematurely, and that's not fun. So why don't you stand up and we'll play around with this, okay? Okay, so the key to this, why don't you step out to about a hip width? The key to this is having your 3 pillars set up, so you're maintaining this as you're unkinking the hose in your hip area. You want to keep your body in central equilibrium. You want to have energetic coherence, and you want to, like I say, unkink the hose. You want to release muscular tension wherever you can, primarily in areas in your shoulders, in your neck, and in the quad area. So let's start by just getting the 3 pillars. And so start by bringing your weight to primarily to the balls of your feet. It's still spread throughout your feet, but you want to set them up so you're It's in the balls of your feet. This will get the yang qi going. Unlock your knees, but don't bend them very much. So I'm going to adjust that camera to bring it down a little bit. I think we're having some technical difficulties in terms of getting. Here we go. If that helps. You can get my feet in there. And still. Okay, so feel your weight over the balls of your feet. Unlock your knees. Allow your weight to just settle throughout the whole foot, but centering it over the balls of the feet. Reach with the crown of your head, tuck in your chin. Open the jade pillow gate at the base of your skull. Just feel your body sinking down, down, down. At the same time, reaching up with the crown. So you're lengthening your spine by reaching up, but it's a very soft reach. You're not forcing anything. It's almost like the crown of your head is like the top of a plant just reaching up on top of a vine, just reaching up and extending upward, but not forcing anything. Reach with your index fingers and feel the qi in your hands. Reach with your elbows. Let's open up a little bit. And breathe deeply into your lower dantian, into your lower abdomen. And spiral down to the left, spiral down to the right. So this is our qua. Very superficial approach, but we're going to feel that sense of sung, that releasing down. See what muscular contraction you can release. Now, part of this too is you want to relax your lower back and allow your sacrum to drop. So looking at it sideways, imagine that you're arching your back and feel that pronounced lumbar curve, that lordosis there. And then just drop your butt. And what that does is it levels out your pelvic floor, or your pelvis, your pelvic bowl, rather. So if you notice that if I have that arched back, my pelvis is pointing forward. So I want to just release down. So you don't want to force it the other way where you're tilting the pelvis up. You want to have it nice and level. The same thing side to side. So if your pelvis is left or right, it's going to make it difficult to move, from your hip joint. And so we want to find where that sweet spot is in your body, where your hips are level. And just relax the muscles, and notice that you may have to make an adjustment in your back muscles in order to do that, particularly if they're habitually holding your pelvis in a unbalanced condition. That's a little better. Okay, I got a prop here. So the idea here is, what I want is to, first of all, go on your right foot and feel the weight in your heel, the heel of your right foot. Pick up your left heel. So it looks like this. So you're just really on the toe of your left foot. What we're trying to do here is to really commit to the right foot. And doing this, your weight's on the heel, and straighten your knee all the way. lock the knee and feel what that feels like. And now just unlock it. Let it go just a little bit. And what we don't want to do is to push the knee down. We want to just have it just slightly forward of being locked, okay, with the weight in the heel right now. And so go back and check your center equilibrium, reach with the crown of your head, and feel the verticality of your body. You want to have that, you want to feel it centered over the heel of your right foot, okay, with the knee slightly bent. So in learning Sum Qua, it's really important that we take as much of the strain out of this. And this is what I was talking before about people add things to it. They want to get down and want to really get into the muscularity of it, but we don't want that. We just want to let go as much as possible. The simplicity of the exercise is this. You're doing this. And this is why it is people tend to add things to it because it's kind of a nothing thing. It's more of a moving meditation. But there's a lot going on in this exercise. So first of all, we want to get the toes of your right foot pointing straight forward. And you want to line your knee up. Notice here that I'm lining my knee up, so it is going with my foot. And this is, notice how this is a vertical, the pole is vertical. And I want to get that alignment. What happens with a lot of people is they align their knee to the outside of their foot, which causes the hip joint to go out, to the butt to go out to the side. So if you can see here, if I'm using this as my my plumb here, the outside of my hip is a couple inches to the right of the outside of my foot. Okay, what I want to do is line the knee so it's over, more shading toward the inside of my foot, because this is the center line of my body is where the line of force is through the structure, and that's along the big toe line. So we're dependent on the big bones to handle the big stresses. So if we get this, so we have this lined up here. So notice that on the inside of my foot, coming straight up, I'm right here. Here's where that hip joint is, right? So it's so the pole is just on the outside of my foot, and the hip joint is right here. So we want to align your hip joint with the inside of your foot. So you have this as your guide. So we all have different shaped bodies, and so more important than the outside of the outside of your butt there, whether or not it's sticking out or not, is are you aligning your hip joint over the big toe line, not the big toe. So it's more toward the center of the foot, but it's on the inside of your foot, the medial part of your foot. So if you get that, you get this kind of action happening here. So notice that here's my big toe, here's my knee, and they're right in alignment there. When I do that, I'm just going to then just kind of sit down. So I release my lower back and just sit down into my hip. Notice that what I'm not doing is this. I'm not pushing down as I sit down. The sitting down is happening here. It's happening in my back. I'm just releasing down and just dropping into that. So we have this alignment here. We have the verticality extends through the body so that my body's mass is centered over the part of my foot where I want it to do the work. In this case, I'm asking the heel to do the work. So by having this, I'm lining up and setting this way. I'm setting so that I have my my body's mass is shading toward the inside of my foot, toward the big toe line. So, and if I then sit down, then then I just release, I can then just sit down and spiral down to the right. And this is just sort of letting go of the tension, letting go of muscular tension, and just kind of sitting down, relaxing into that right leg. I'm still 100% in that right leg. And then as I turn back, I'm still maintaining that. So notice that as I do this, my knee, as I turn, my knee is staying in the same place, right? And I turn to the inside, my knee stays in the same place. So I'm releasing the hip joint, and it becomes easy if I get my pelvis so it lines up. So it's the pelvic bowl is level. Then the hip joint is able to move as it's designed to do. So in this exercise, we want to just set that, and then we spiral down and turn to the right. And when I say spiral, what that means is it's like you're screwing into the ground. You're releasing down, 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 but whenever you go down, you're not going out. You're just rotating around this central axis as you go down. And you don't have to go very far. You can go a half an inch. The important thing is the release rather than how far can I push it. And then I come back to center. So think of it, I like to think of it as releasing and spiraling down as the yin part, and then coming back, I'm thinking the yang part, the turn as I come back. So spiral down to the right, turn to the left. So you may notice that more work is being done on the inside of your thigh. More work is, as you release down, it's being asked to support your leg in a way that maybe it's not used to. And that's okay. So this is something you want to build up to. You want to develop those supporting muscles, because they will balance out the support that your body is giving. For a lot of people, particularly if your weight is toward the outside of your leg, you're going to get a lot of tension in the iliotibial band running on the outside of your leg here. That'll get really, really tight. And that just means that it's working way too hard. But if you bring your weight back more toward the center, now you're starting to work the inside muscles as much as the outside, and you're creating this yin-yang balance in your legs. So another thing to think about, usually whenever I do it, I just let my arms hang. But I find that a lot of people, they use that to do this. Which is a whole different exercise, a perfectly valid exercise, but very different from this one. So to develop an awareness, we want the torso to move as a unit. So we want the shoulders and the hips to align and move together. So if you just put your hands on your hips and you want reach out with your elbows and you spiral down to the right, and you want the shoulders and hips to move together as a unit. And you're releasing down, you're sitting down into that leg and turning. Good. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to spiral down to the left and release down. Just feel into that. Feel the support that's coming on the inside of that leg, and turn back to center. So notice that my knee is not moving. That's I I've set that knee connecting up to the heel as a pivot point. I'm pivoting all the actions happening here at the quad. So what this means is that there should be no strain at all on your knee. And this is good because a lot of people, when they do this kind of exercise, they move their knees back and forth, and that causes a lot of rubbing, irritation in the tendons there. So we're here, we spiral down to the left, and we're just opening. The quad is opening up this way. And we come back to center, turn, and then we spiral down to the right, and we're closing. That is, we're making the space between the thigh and the torso, we're pressing in on that. That's coming in. And then we go back to center, and then it's back to the even spot between the two. We spiral down, we open the quad. We open this Qichong point and close. And this opening and closing is the yin yang. It acts as a pump and circulates the qi throughout your body. So now let's put the left foot forward. Give the right foot a little break here. Pick up your right heel. And the same idea here. We want to line up the knee. You set the weight on the heel. The knee is just unlocked. Okay. Let me just speak a minute here. This is something that comes up frequently. A correction I make with people all the time is when you tell them to release down, they do this. They go down into the leg, and so there's several things that occur here that make it a much more difficult exercise to grasp, and that is whenever you go down like that, you're loading up that left leg here, and you're getting a lot of tension, muscular tension into that, and then it causes the muscles in your hip joint to tense up also, not just the left one, but the right one also, and so it's difficult to become sung. Okay, as you develop your awareness, your qua awareness, you will be able to go lower, 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 and become very sung. But that comes, by first getting familiar with the process, using the knee just slightly unlocked. Okay, so we line the knee up. Okay, with more shaded toward the inside of the foot, feeling that we're going into the heel of the foot right now, but we're still lining it up on the big toe line, and having that, so we're keeping the knee set as I'm going to spiral down to the left, and keeping the knee doesn't move, and then turn back to the right. Spiral down to the left and turn back to the right. Spiral down to the left and turn back to the right. And you don't have to go very far. The important thing is you do that. So notice what happens if my right leg is so loose, as I spiral down to the left, my right knee just kind of collapses in on that, and which is fine for this exercise. This all we're doing here is we're loading up that left leg so much that the right knee just kind of follows along, and then we go back and it's there, and then we spiral down to the right, and that the right leg is still loosey-goosey, and then we turn back to center and spiral down to the right and turn back to center. Spiral down to the left, turn back to center. Spiral down to the right, turn back to center. Spiral down to the left, turn back to center. And just hold that for a moment, just feel into that. Now we're going to spiral down to the left, but do it super slowly. So you're just like you're letting the air out of a tire. Just you're spiraling down, and you just feel that getting very soft, very relaxed, and sink into that. Right knee, right leg is very, very relaxed, and you come back to center, turn, coming back to center, and spiral down to the left very slowly, just nice and easy. Just let that hang there, and turn back to center. And we're going to add a little variation onto this. And that is to feel the weight in your heel. You sink down, spiraling down to the left, releasing down. Weight still in the heel. Now, as you turn back to center, bring your focus to the ball of your left foot. So you're pressing down with the ball of your left foot as you do that, and then spiral down to the right, back into the heel, and then back to center. You go back to the ball of the foot, heel. So as you're releasing, this is the yin part. We go into the heel, and then into the ball of the foot as we go to the yang, and spiral down to the right, yin. Turn back to center, yang. So having this, there's this awareness of yin and yang, that expansive energy as you press down, and release, and there's a contraction going on there. And then back to center, there's an expansion, and back to release. So we get this awareness, this yin yang awareness enables us to be able to get more, be able to connect it up to the yin yang of the rest of the body. So the sung part is a yin response. That is a releasing down. That's a letting go. And then we activate it. It's still sung, but it's less so. So there's an expanse of you're allowing the yang chi to express, and then spiral down and yin, and back to center, yang, and back, bring your weight back 50-50, and just hang out there a moment. Just feel the circulation in your arms and your hands. Now let's bring the right foot forward. We're going back. We're going to go into the back leg and pick up the heel of the right foot. So you're like this. You want to have that central equilibrium. Start with your weight in your heel. You want to have this central pillar there. Have it lined up. So there's your body's mass is primarily over the heel right now, and the knee is also not bent very much. So you're straighten the knee and then unlock it, and then we have the knee is going to say set. So here the alignment is the same idea here. We're getting the hip joint lining up over the heel of the left foot. So when we're setting this up here, so you're feeling into that power line. So regardless of your body shape, your body type, you still want to get that as your point of emphasis. You know, ideally your butt's not sticking out, but if you line up your hip joint over your heel in this posture, and your butt is still sticking out, then that's a whole different issue. So don't worry about that. The important thing is getting that power line there. And just to feel into it, you want to give it a try and just push your butt out to the side a little bit so you can feel the hip joint moving more toward the outside of your foot, and notice what it takes to maintain that. Okay, so if you're centered so that you're over the ball, that means you have to release, you have to sit down in that leg, and that's, we're going back to the getting the pelvis level, right? Because if your muscles are tense, there's a tendency to your butt to be sticking out already and locking up there. But if you're sitting down into that leg, then you can flatten out your pelvic bowl. So then we spiral down to the left. So we're same idea. The knee doesn't move. The knee stays set. Back to center. Spiral down to the left. And then back to center. Spiral down to the right. Back to center. So the important thing here is not how far you turn, it's that you turn. That you are releasing at the hip joint to get that turn. You're not forcing anything. If you can only go a half an inch and without forcing it, don't go any farther. Just let that yourself get a little more swung. Just spiral down to the left very slowly, sink in there, and just hang into that posture. And just feel yourself settling into that, centering your weight over your heel. Feel your line of force over your hip joint, over the heel. And then feel the ball of your left foot as you go back to center. Sink into the heel, spiral down to the left. Feel the ball of your foot as you press down and come back to center. Back to center. Same thing on spiraling down to the right. You're releasing, you're opening the quad, turning back to center. Heel, yin, fall, yang. Heel, yin, spiral down to the left. Fall, yang. Spiral down to the right. Turn back to center. Shift feet. Feel so you're in your right foot. Pick up your left heel. Find your center equilibrium. Feel your weight over your heel. Unlock the knee. Feel yourself settling down, still reaching up at the crown of your head. Spiral down to the right. Feel the heel and then back to center. The knee doesn't move. Spiral down to the right. Back to center. Spiral down to the right. Back to center. Everything is very soft. You're down, down, down. And you may find it challenging to be this relaxed, to feel yourself supported and being this relaxed. Because it's a different kind of muscular support. And spiral down to the left, releasing, back to center. Spiral down to the left, yin, back to center. Spiral down to the left, sink into the heel. Feel the ball of your foot and back to center, yang. Spiral down to the right, yin, heel. Ball of foot back to center. Heel, spiral down to the left. Yang, back to center. Okay, so let's call it a day there. Bring your feet together, step in, take a deep breath. Inhale, Gather the chi and then sink into your heels, exhale, and throw it all away. Great. Cool. How'd that go? Good, 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 good. Any questions, comments, observations, complaints? Valerie.
Uh, I was having a little bit of difficulty going from the heel to the ball, heel to the ball. And I said something to Scott about that, and he goes, "Well, I think you're turning too far." So I modified that, and that really helped, and it made it much
Right.
easier.
Good observation. Beautiful. Oh, Jonathan.
What's above the Achilles tendon in the back? Whatever's going on back there, I could feel that. Like I'm good on the knee. I'm glad you've always emphasized that. But I guess
You're
it feels
talking
like
about
something.
your calf muscles,
Yeah, I guess so. In the
your
back there,
gastrocnemius.
I suppose there are times they seem to be working overtime, and that's what I never know whether is this the good pain or the bad pain. You know.
Uh,
Uh,
you'll find that that is often the case with this. As you start to make this change, your calves, which have um, have shortened over time, are starting
mm,
to get elongated. As you
I
get
see.
soon, then we're starting to open them up a little bit, and they're having to adapt to this whole different way of doing it because they're they're used to working in a very yang way, like going pushing up that hill, climbing those stairs, whatever, and they're used to that yang exertion, but the yin exertion is a whole different kettle of fish for them, and so they are having to adapt to that. And so part of the reason why people avoid this kind of thing is that the muscles have to work in this strange way, and it feels like I'm doing something wrong. And when actuality, it's no, no, you're doing it right. It takes work.
Great. Okay, thank you.
You bet. Scott, you had something.
So it seemed like to me, it felt like when I had it right, the energy level in my body just went way up.
Great. That sounds right.
And yeah, and I was able to do most of it without any knee pain, which was good. And luckily because I've got bad knees, it's easy to tell when when the pain comes, it's immediate that I just gotta, okay, I'm doing something too much here. And yeah, just not it's hard to make your muscles not do all the work. It's you really gotta just kind of, I don't know, just tell them to chill out or something. It
And
was kind of a
you definitely
mental,
have to override, your habitual response. So yeah,
but I can
but
definitely feel. Yeah.
that is. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll be sore tomorrow, but it definitely it was good. It was I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna be working playing with this.
this is something I've been playing with for 30, 40 years now, and so it and I still have to you know go through that. I still
Mm.
have to that awareness there, like okay, oh we're working now because it's real easy to fall back into old habits whenever you're not consciously putting it there,
Mm.
and to consciously override that. And the more you do it, the easier it is to get there. Cool. Valerie.
It also is a very good exercise to be very aware of the jutting butt, you know, the butt moving out, keeping those things aligned. And when they're not, it's evident.
Right. Right. And the jutting butt is You know, it's an indicator. You know, it just says, hey, you know, we jumped the track. The trolley jumped the track here. Get back, and it it's real easy to just kind of get into a kind of a mindless kind of approach to that exercise, and slip into that where things are just kind of sliding all over the place. So the discipline is to really just keep it centered the whole time. Think of it as like walking a tightrope or something. You kind of, yeah, a miss is a mile. Cool. Debbie.
Well, first, I really hate having to unlearn when I've done something the wrong way. And I figured out that I've been having my knees bent way too much and was using the muscles far too much in doing my turns. So this made a huge difference. So thank you.
Oh, good.
Got a lot to
Good.
work on.
That's a big one right there, because it's, you know, we want to go there. We want to go to more muscle, you know, and that I'm gonna get a workout out of this or whatever, you know. And no, this is really one of those cases where less is more, and where you just, you know, no, you gotta. It's about shedding, letting go, rather than adding something in. Great. Anybody else? Okay, thank you all so much. It was great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Producer.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Maria.
Love you, Maria.
Thanks, Maria.
Love you. Bye-bye.